if you need somebody who's been there and done it, not only have you got your uncle Matthew, but you've got your dad Ricky as well, and they've seen everything this sport's got to offer, the good and the bad. We ought to mention the opponent, at least give him that courtesy. Jesus Ruiz came in very late, and he's got an 0-10 record, but he got stopped on his debut, but he's been the distance ever since, so he obviously knows how to take care of himself. Away we go then, the professional debut of Campbell Hutton in the sky blue, going up against the seasoned veteran Jesus Ruiz, who answered the call. And Jesus has not been in a ring for 1 year and 9 months and has yet to have his arm raised in victory. But he's a durable sort. Let's see if Campbell Hutton can impose himself.
There's durable, Nick, and there's durable to the body. And if Campbell is anything like his dad, then he'll be targeting the body straight away. And his dad was one of the best probably the best body puncher Great Britain has produced. One of the best body punchers in the world at the time. And Campbell, as we say, is like a carbon copy of his father.
He says, doesn't he? He said, I'm a clone of my dad, except better looking. So he's got his dad's cheek as well. You talked about the body shots. He landed a left hook early and he looked for another one there and then switched it upstairs, got fast hands, and he's making Jesus Ruiz hold on, and the Spaniard is already thinking, well, hang on, this fella looks a level above what I've been used to in recent years. This is a very promising start from Campbell Hutton, and already Ruiz is in full survival mode here inside the first minute and a half of this one.
Campbell Hutton is already impressing me with how patient he's being compared to what I imagined he'd be. Pro debut, young kid, big fanfare. You're going to expect a non-stop pace, but he's being patient and he's picking his shots.
Doubled up the left hook to body to head there. I tell you, those left hooks to the body, they really are reminiscent of somebody else, aren't they? Boy, oh boy. There's another one. Sneaked in under the arm, but fair play to Ruiz. He keeps on coming back for more, doesn't he?
Just constantly trying to target that body, Campbell Hutton. Obviously reminiscent of what Ricky and Matthew were doing back in the day.
There's another one, and he felt that, didn't he? Wants to bring the right hand in over the top. That didn't quite hit the intended area.
Doing well not to get carried away here, Campbell, and rush in and leave yourself open and look a bit vulnerable. It is a debut, but all eyes are watching because of the family name.
Well, there is that risk, isn't there, that you could get just overwhelmed by the adrenaline of it all, but as we've said, you know, when you consider who's in his corner, will keep him his feet on the ground, and I don't think Jesus Ruiz can take 6 rounds of this as durable as his record would suggest. I mean, he is just getting pounded in there, and that was sort of shoved to the floor as much as anything, and Victor Loughlin has quite rightly waved that off, but that is an assault on him in the last few seconds of that round, and Jesus Ruiz was really feeling it on his walk back to his stool. And it always is so tough for these sons of legends, isn't it? Oh, there's a nice right hand connects there from Ruiz, just to let Campbell Hutton know he's playing with the big boys now.
That's good, and I'm not saying it in a bad, derogatory way. It's good. You need to get caught a few times. You know, if your head's coming up too much, your chin's up in the air too much, you're going to get caught. If you're not worrying about your defence, you're going to get caught. He's hurt Ruiz here. Campbell Hutton, 2 good shots to the head just landed.
But it's these body shots that are just draining the resistance out of Jesus Ruiz.
You can hear Matthew Hutton shouting to Campbell, chin down. He also has to be careful, not just for being caught by shots, but the clashes of heads. His dad was very susceptible to cuts in his day. We don't want Campbell to be the same, and the heads are coming really close all the time.
I tell you, there's blood coming from the nose of Jesus Ruiz. He's blowing hard as well, and Hutton is all over him. I tell you, he's brave. He's a tough guy. Another one of those body shots goes in, and you can just see the effect it's having on Jesus Ruiz. And I tell you, the referee might have to have a decision here if this Spanish guy is a bit too brave for his own good, and he's certainly very, very tough.
I think he's picked a good nickname, Campbell Hutton, the Hurricane. I think Ruiz feels like he's in a hurricane at the moment.
Yeah.
Non-stop pressure, non-stop coming forward, power shots. He's a strong kid, Campbell Hutton. And listen, these type of opponents, it's his pro debut. He never really had an amateur career, much of an amateur career, Campbell Hutton. He's not the most experienced. He didn't do very well in the amateurs with international medals or anything else like that. So he needs to be brought through slowly, which is going to be tough because of the name and because of the fanfare that's already on his profile. People are going to be tuning in to watch because it's Ricky Hatton's son.
Body shot again. And he's going to have a target on him as well, isn't he? Everybody, as he's an up-and-comer, and Conor Benn has found this, and Chris Eubank Jr. before that, and over in Australia, Tim Tszyu, they're all targeted because of who their dad was.
Very, very much so. Listen, you see it sometimes with fighters who are targeted because the trainer is Ricky Hatton, or because the trainer is someone who's won world titles as a fighter himself. So when you're the son of a fighter like that, you're going to get even more.
Boy, Jesus Ruiz has soaked it up in this second round. Jesus Ruiz is doing everything he can to try and spoil the script. But boy, is even on the receiving end. Still coming back for more. Picked a good opponent here for Campbell Hutton. What you never like to see somebody just wilt and fall under the first assault. And Jesus Ruiz, who did come in late and is local, is really seeming just to have a good desire to just try and see this through again.
And listen, there's a few faults, and all I'm hearing this is not about me, but I trained with Ricky and Matthew Hutton, and Ricky gave me more advice than any fighter I've worked with in the past. And it was always touch a few in first, disguise the body shot, and it's what Campbell's a little bit guilty of doing wrong here. He's not disguising these body shots, and that will come with time and experience. It's as pro like that. Touch a few to the head first, get him confident to the head, and then let him open up to the body, and then bang one into the body. And it's good advice. You'll touch a few to the head first, and that's exactly what Ricky and Matthew will both be shouting to Campbell.
Still firing back here, Ruiz. But his arms look very tired, and doesn't seem to be an awful lot of snap behind his punches either.
I think we'll see Campbell Hutton's arms looking tired as well in a minute or so, because he's put a lot into those first 3 rounds. And it's a different ball game, the pros. Tough men who will take what you've got and keep coming back at you. Find a way to survive and find a way to make it difficult for you.
Well, they cleaned up the blood around the nose of Jesus Ruiz, and now they've got to deal with the right eye, which is cut.
A good shot from Hutton there. Slip, left hook.
Well, there's the wildness of the debutant right there.
Yeah, you can see the eagerness, and listen, as we say, it's a pro debut. It can all be forgiven. But a lot to work on when he goes back with his team, and I'm sure he'll relish that as well.
We're down to the final 60 seconds of Campbell Hutton's professional debut. He's not as fresh now as he was 9 minutes ago, is he?
I'm looking forward to the post-fight interview. We'll see the honesty from him. We'll know how tough he felt in there. Got to just make a bit of room for himself. Good body shot. Lovely. There from Campbell Hutton.
Really nice. That's forced Ruiz onto the back foot here. He's probably thinking, hang on, I can see the finish line. And if he's an old trial horse, he should know. All he's got to do is try and hold on, tuck up. Hutton, though, will look for that finish, but he's running out of time.
Looks so tired, Campbell Hutton.
He does.
He's really put a lot into this. Ruiz, again, deserves credit for surviving and getting through this. But first professional fight out the way, a lot of pressure on his shoulders, and some of it is not his fault. You know, a lot of it is down to his father being as good as he was. But to come through tonight with a win, he's put everything into that. Every credit to Campbell Hutton.
And every credit to Jesus Ruiz.
After 4 rounds here in Gibraltar, we go to referee Victor Loughlin's scorecard. It reads 40-36 for your winner from Manchester, England, Campbell, the Hurricane Hutton.
Well, he's not the finished article. Of course he isn't. As you say, limited amateur experience. But the expectation will be so high just because of who his dad is and what his dad achieved. But Campbell Hutton right now can be very, very happy with how his pro debut went this evening.